Before we start, a heads up. This episode covers a lawsuit involving the deaths of 4 teenagers. I don't describe how any of them died, and everything alleged is an unproven claim in a civil complaint the companies have not answered yet. If you or your child are struggling, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, confidential, and open 24/7. Call or text 988. Welcome to your 2-minute quick brief of the Tech Radar for Parents. I'm your host, Weston, brought to you by Nicholas D. West Tech, LLC. It's the week of August 3rd, 2026. School is starting, and this is an unusual week. There was no new viral challenge. There was no new slang. What there was instead is courtrooms, 3 of them. And the question being argued in all 3 is whether the apps themselves were built to hook your kid. Let's go. Let's start with a number that looks like terrible news and is actually the opposite. Austin Independent School District reported that in the last school year, monitoring software on district-issued devices flagged more than 8,200 actionable student safety incidents. That is their highest count ever. It was reported by the Austin Current on July 29th. Now, your instinct reading that headline is that something has gone badly wrong with these kids. But read what the district actually says about it. They attribute the spike to visibility, not to worse behavior. Here is the mechanism, and it is genuinely clever. Texas restricted classroom phone use, so students who would have been doing whatever they were doing on a personal phone, invisible to everyone, are now doing it on a school-issued device that is monitored. The district also expanded its web activity monitoring and launched a new anonymous reporting program. So the same kid, in the same amount of distress, now generates an alert that a counselor can actually see and act on. A Stanford researcher who studies phone bans reads it the same way. I want to be careful and precise here because this is exactly the kind of number that gets misused. These are alerts generated by software. They are not confirmed crises. A flagged item can be a kid typing a song lyric. And the district's year-over-year comparison is not a clean apples to apples. So please do not take 8,000 as a count of children in danger. But the direction is the good news. The phone ban did not create the distress. It moved the distress somewhere an adult can see it. That is what an intervention working actually looks like, and it is the opposite of the story the headline number tells. Now, the thing that makes this week unusual. There are 3 separate legal proceedings running right now, and all of them are arguing the same underlying question. Not what your kid posted, how the product was built. 1. In Nashville, Tennessee's Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti is in trial against Meta right now. Jury selection started July 20th, opening statements were July 27th, and it is expected to run 6 to 7 weeks. Here is the part that matters. This is a consumer protection case, not a product liability case. The state's theory is that Meta designed Instagram to intentionally addict minors and then misled the public about how safe it was. Reuters reported on July 27th that Tennessee told the jury Meta disregarded its own internal research on teen harm. 2. A federal trial, what lawyers call a bellwether, a test case that shapes hundreds of others behind it, is set for Oakland, California this August. 3. And a brand new lawsuit, which I will come to in a moment. And here is the genuinely useful part for you. Because these are trials, the specific features being blamed are named in public filings. Tennessee's complaint names, among others, autoplay, Instagram Reels, push notifications, and content designed to disappear after a limited time. Listen to that list again. Every single one of those is a setting. Not one of them is a thing your child did wrong. Autoplay is a switch. Notifications are a switch. That list is, functionally, a to-do list for your Sunday afternoon. And we will get to exactly that in the action plan. On Thursday, July 30th, 4 families filed a wrongful death lawsuit in Delaware Superior Court against Meta, TikTok, Snap, and YouTube. The Associated Press reported it on July 31st. The families are the parents of Olivia Castro, who was 13, Nathaniel Chambers, 17, Dawson Holden, 18, and Rivers Kelleher, 14. Their families went public deliberately, through their attorneys, and I am going to say their names once because they chose that. Everything that follows is an allegation. It is an unproven claim in a civil complaint. The companies have not answered it yet, and they will contest it. What the suit alleges is worth your attention, because notice what is not in it. There is no challenge, no dare, no stranger in the direct messages. The alleged mechanism is the design of the product itself. Real-time tracking of children's behavior and emotions, targeted diet and beauty advertising, appearance-altering filters, features built specifically to drive social comparison, and algorithms tuned to maximize engagement. The suit alleges the companies were warned by their own researchers and kept going. I want to be honest with you about what this is and is not. A lawsuit is not a verdict. Filing a complaint proves nothing. Some of these cases will fail, but here is why I am covering it anyway. For 3 years on this show, almost every dangerous thing we have talked about has been something that arrived. A challenge, a scam, a predator, a bad app. This is a different category. This is the allegation that the ordinary, default, working as intended experience is itself the risk. You cannot block your way out of that one. There is no app to delete. It is the feed doing exactly what it was designed to do. And if that feels heavy, here is the practical version. You do not have to wait for a verdict to turn off autoplay tonight, so here is your decoder. And for the second week running, there is no new slang. I looked. There isn't any. I would rather tell you that than recycle terms from the spring and pretend otherwise. So instead, let's decode the 5 product features that are actually being named in these lawsuits. Because unlike slang, you can switch these off. Number 1. Autoplay. The next video starts by itself. Your child never makes a decision to keep watching, which means they never get the natural moment where they would stop. It is named in Tennessee's complaint. Number 2. Infinite scroll. Reels, shorts, the For You feed. There is no bottom. Older media had endings. The episode finished, the page ran out. A feed that never ends removes every natural stopping point a brain uses to decide it is done. Number 3. Push notifications. These are the re-engagement hooks. Their entire job is to pull your child back in at the moment they had, briefly, stopped. Named in the complaint. Number 4. Disappearing content and streaks. Content that vanishes after a set time manufactures urgency. If you do not look now, you lose it. Streaks add an obligation on top. Miss a day and you have broken something. Also named. Number 5. Appearance filters. Face-altering effects. Named in the Delaware suit alongside targeted beauty and diet advertising, with the allegation that they are built to drive social comparison. The specific concern here is not vanity. It is a kid becoming used to a version of their own face that does not exist. That is your decoder. 5 settings, not 5 words. Here is your action plan. 4 things this week. 1. Turn off the 4 switches. Autoplay, push notifications, and where you can, the disappearing content and streak prompts. Then the big one. Turn off notifications for social apps overnight, or use the platform's own quiet hours setting. This is the highest value 15 minutes of parenting tech work you can do this month, and you do not need a court to rule first. 2. Ask the school what is on the device. School is starting. If your district issues a laptop or a Chromebook, it very likely runs monitoring software, and Austin's numbers show how much that catches. Ask 3 questions. What software is it? Who sees the alerts? And what happens when one fires? You are entitled to know, and most parents have never asked. 3. Ask about mood, not screen time. The through line of every one of these lawsuits is emotional harm, not hours. So change the question. Not, how long were you on your phone? Try, does that app make you feel better or worse after you use it? Kids answer that one honestly, surprisingly often, because it isn't an accusation. 4. If your child is on Roblox, check trusted connections. Under the Alabama settlement, adults and users under 16 cannot chat unless the adult is a designated trusted friend. And for under 13s, that connection requires a parent's approval. That is a real structural cut to the adult-stranger contact path. Sit down and look at who is on that list. That is your 2 minutes. No new challenge this week. No new slang. Just 3 courtrooms arguing about whether the feed was built to be hard to put down, and a school district discovering that when you take the phones away, you finally see the kids. If your child is struggling, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, confidential, and open around the clock. Call or text 988. For our full-length deep dives into every topic we covered today, check out our main feed. I'm your host, Weston, with Nicholas D. West Tech, LLC. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and we will see you next time.